What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I'm coming at you a little bit past, almost 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little bit of news. As I mentioned in the morning show and then the midday video, we've got a little bit of news overnight regarding a story that I was trying to figure out. Is there something more to it? Is there any kind of validity to it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? But it does seem like there is a bit of at least possibility behind it. It would appear that the Miami Dolphins and their general manager, Chris Greer, made a call, I believe it would have been Tuesday, to the Detroit Lions to talk to Brad Holmes about at least the potential. Would the Detroit Lions be open to trading Hendon Hooker? We all get the star backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. If he didn't blow out his ACL his senior year, probably would have been a mid to late round, first round draft pick. Lions were able to snag him in the third round, and he has not seen any field time so far this year. I'm not going to say this is going to happen, so I'm going to give a full disclosure before any knuckleheads start coming after me. I'm not here to say he's going to be traded or anything like that. I'm simply going to tell you what I've been told, and that is that a conversation happened between the two teams. Now, to me, the odd part about it all is this all happened on Tuesday. Well, if you trust Bleacher Report, what happened yesterday? A public statement from the Miami Dolphins on Wednesday, the day after the alleged phone call to Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions, coming out saying that no, they are not interested in any possible trade for any quarterback to replace Tua Tagovailoa. Man, I killed that name. Sorry, guys. They come out and say it, and let's see, there's some quotes in the story from potentially going after Ryan Tannehill. That's from Ian Rappaport. You can see Rappaport talk about that situation in there. They also talk about other possibilities. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN even goes on to say he has conversations with the Miami Dolphins and quote-unquote sources within that they may be exploring options to potentially go out and acquire another quarterback because Tua could be out 3 or more weeks, obviously with the concussion protocol. Tua Tagovailoa, and again, I kill that name all the time. I get he just got paid, which is why, to me at least, if I was going to be a general manager, why someone like Hendon Hooker would make a lot of sense. For a couple of years, you're going to have to try to offset Tua's contract. I want to say 180 are fully guaranteed for medical reasons, et cetera, with the contract. So if Tua eventually does not cannot continue to play due to his continued head issues, you're going to have to try to offset that balance a little bit. Also, I want to pull up some video real quick while I continue to talk. You pay attention to to Hendon Hooker's style of play. It's very familiar with what the Miami Dolphins like to run. He can push it downfield. He can escape the pocket. He throws the short intermediate passes incredibly well. So is he a fit for the Miami Dolphins? I'm not here to say yes nor the other thing, but I would say from the style of play he uses and his tendencies, along with the type of offensive weapons they have, you have to believe that that Hendon Hooker would be at least at some level a possible replacement for them because he does have the abilities to push it downfield to a Hill or whoever at wide receiver for them. He does force you to guard the middle of the field because of his escapability. And yes, the third aspect, his cheaper contract would make sense. If I'm the Detroit Lions, though, I'm going to come out and say there's no way in heck I'd trade this guy unless it was really a king's ransom. Why is that? Same reasons we just outlined for Tua. If something should happen to Jared Goff, you're going to need to offset that contract. You're going to want somebody who's familiar with your systems. Also, if you're the Detroit Lions, you invested in this guy. You obviously believed he had something. Go back to the time he was drafted in the third round. What happened the next 4 to 5 picks after the Detroit Lions selected Hendon Hooker? Everybody traded out of their positions. Why? everybody was targeting Hendon Hooker. So if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I get the idea of kicking the tire, at least make the conversation with Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions, whether or not you could acquire them or him from the Lions. What you would have to give up if you're the Detroit Lions to give him up, I guess that's something to be speculated on. I don't really think it would have to be draft capital in my anticipation, because I don't really think they have a dominant defensive end that you'd say, all right, we would give up this guy for your backup quarterback. The other aspect there is, who are the Lions going to, if you do trade Hendon Hooker, who are you going to bring in to be your backup quarterback? Now, the last aspect of this I did think was kind of lined up here is, as we all know, Monday Night Football for the Detroit Lions. After Monday night, guess who's on a bye? The Detroit Lions. Now, you may say, well, why is that important, Dan? Who's on a bye the exact following week? And if you said the Miami Dolphins, you are correct. So if you're the Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes, if you get through Monday night's game, could you trade Tua at that point and now have 2 weeks to break in a new backup quarterback? I'll let the people go with it. You guys come to your own conclusions regarding this. I can confirm the conversation happened. I cannot say it's going to happen. I cannot say that, hey, there's something going to happen. I'm not going to say Miami is going to give up this, that, and the other thing. I'm not going to say Detroit's going to trade him. All I can report to you here today is that a conversation happened between the two entities, whether or not it makes sense to Detroit Lions, which if anybody's watching this show, that's your only, I would assume, worry. Does it make sense for the Detroit Lions to part ways with him? I don't think it does. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, do I think it absolutely makes sense to go after somebody like a Hendon Hooker? 100%. He can push the ball. He can hit the sidelines. He forces you to keep somebody, one or two defenders up in the middle of the field, because he does have escapability. And he's got a cheap enough contract where you could probably eat Tua's contract for a year or two while offsetting it with Hendon Hookers. All right, I see there's some people in the comment section. We'll get over to you guys real quick, then I got to get back to work. Trumps, skip the Cardinals. I'll go with that 100%, especially after that video. Keto, got to be Hooker. It is indeed Hooker, Keto. It is. And by the way, I love the Kool-Aid, by the way, in their thumbnail. Big D, what up, though? Now you know. Hopefully you know. Gracias, Coach. Hey, de nada. Hopefully you're having a good day. Boy, I can't think on air. All right, fair enough. Troy, Hooker to Miami could be interesting for him. Seems like he would fit their scheme well. That's where I was at with it, too, Troy. You look at their style of play, the weapons they have. I just think it would be a real good fit for him. And again, if they really feel like this could potentially be the end for Tua, you need to offset that contract a little bit with a younger quarterback's contract. It probably makes it somewhat more palatable. But again, I do want to reiterate, if I'm the Detroit Lions, I would not want to trade him just for that reason. Pierce, second rounder minimum, 100% with that. Yeah, if you're going to trade him, you're going to gouge. You're going to say, you got to give me enough to make this happen. Let's see, Chad. We would be stupid as heck to trade Hooker. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it. I don't think it makes sense. But again, you look at all the aspects I've listed, plus Detroit, after Monday, he's got 2 weeks to break in a new backup quarterback. Miami, in a sense, has 2 weeks, 3 weeks to break in a new quarterback. It all comes down to, I guess, timing with things. Gary, oh my gosh, I hope we do not get rid of Hooker. Give them Goff. We'll see what shakes out there. I make no promises on that because I don't have any information on that. See, Big D, depends 100%. Always, hey, $1 Million Man as a kid taught me a lot of things. Everybody's got a price. Let's see. RF, I think Hooker is good. Obviously, the Dolphins think he is good. I got to imagine there's probably a few teams across the league. If you're in Miami's situation, this would make sense. This would make a lot of sense for the costs, plus with his upside. So we'll see what happens. Keith, though, if I was Miami, I would kick the tires on Russell Wilson. I've heard some whispers and rumors about that. I know ESPN had a bit on that too. Plus, getting Russ at this point with the Steelers don't really have any investment in him. It's really just Denver paying his salary. It wouldn't cost much at all, 100%. See, Pierce, if I'm the Dolphins for immediate plug and play factors, knowing the offense, Jimmy G, yeah, I've seen some speculations on that as well. Big D, depends on what we can get. There's some good young quarterback or QBs coming out of college we could grab if we let him go. Yeah, my guess is if you're Brad Holmes, you do this. Of course, depending on what you get for compensation, you're probably already formulating a plan for the future regarding that. Bo, 2 first rounders might do it. Let's see if that happens, man. Yada, yada. Hex, nah, or less they're giving us something that I can't turn down, something like 2 1s and a third. Yeah, to me, your only way Brad Holmes does this, if it's an offer you can't refuse. And not trying to be funny there, but it would have to make egregious sense for the Detroit Lions to do it. I like Hendon Hooker. I like his cost. I like his upside. I like all he brings to the table. But at some point, if somebody's going to make you a big enough offer, you might not turn it down. Yada, yada. I mean, 3 1s. Wait, we'll go with that. Even better, man. Moonscar trade who? Tua? Trade Hooker to Tua. Big D Hooker. Let's see. Bo, Coach meant Hooker, Moonscar. Yeah, my bad. If I mess that up, sorry, guys. Trying to multitask here. See, yada, yada. Oh, yeah, I'm in my Kool-Aid voice. Oh, yeah, in my Kool-Aid voice. Coach, give me a woo, woo, woo. You want it? I'll give it to you. Just got to give me a second to scroll up to the top of the screen and give you a... All right, Moonscar, I thought his misspoke there. Yeah, probably. Sorry about that. Hookadoo, never going to happen, and leave us with no backup quarterback that knows our play plan. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it. If you're going to do it, you do it after Monday night. Why? Because now you have basically 2 weeks, 3 weeks to break in a new backup quarterback. I guess you could always go Nate Sudfeld for a backup quarterback for a week or something. But if you're going to go out and do it, you got to have a plan to replace him. It's got to be somebody you have faith in that when the game's on the line, they can at least do something with the offense. So for the exact same reason, though, Detroit's on bye after this week. Miami's on bye the week after that. It lines up for both teams, I think, pretty good. Giovanni, get a second rounder, sign Tannehill at worst. Could be what they're thinking. That I can't speak on. I just don't know. Let's say Keith, though. Yeah, too bad they don't get a decent edge rusher. Yeah, and I just don't think Miami, maybe somebody who knows more about the Dolphins can look at that roster and say, yeah, they need to go and get this guy. I just am not familiar enough with the Dolphins roster to be able to say this guy would be an option or that guy would be an option. Giovanni, a second and future third? Could be. Jake from, man, I'm glad you brought that up, applying pressure, because to be honest, I really like that kid. Of course, the Lions coaching staff would equally have to be as invested in Jake Fromm. But if you trade Hooker, yes, I would be all over Jake Fromm. All right, guys, I got to get back to work. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. If you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button. If there is some sort of breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you when possible. I do have to do some work today. But take care. Enjoy your day. Do something nice for somebody you don't know. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until